Track wrestling in Las Vegas, Greco-Roman World Team Training Camp with 97 kilogram World Team member D'Angelo Hancock. Always fun having you on the camera, so it's always light. You made 3 World Teams last year, had a lot of experience on the world stage. What did you take away from those lessons that you learned overseas?
I learned a lot. You know, I learned this experience. You know, that's the main thing about this sport is experience. You got to get matches. You got to get against the best guys, and you got to get everywhere you possibly can, as much as you can. And I think I'm doing that. So honestly, I'm just learning the sport of Greco-Roman. I can't say anything specific I'm getting better at, but I can feel myself all around becoming a true student of the game, just a true athlete of Greco-Roman.
Over in Poland, U23s, you wrestled heavyweight. You talked about that being the plan for 2020. Have you changed course there? Is that?
Course has changed. Course has changed a lot. We were talking about, we're just looking at, in the future. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't look at longevity in the sport of wrestling, and for me, I want to stay as healthy as possible for as long as possible. And well, at heavyweight, they were thinking my body at 20 years old, 19 last year, that I'm not going to be able to maintain 97 kilos all the way till 2020, till 2024 without extreme discipline, and it's going to be a pain. It's going to take away from the sport rather than loving it. And like I said before, when I was at the U23 World Championships, it's going to take a lifestyle change, and I think that I've done that. My diet's changed completely, my everything, all my consumption, my supplements, all types of things. So I think slowly it's getting there.
What are the specific changes? What have you changed diet-wise? What are you eating now that you weren't before? What are you not eating now that you were before?
So biggest things is carbs. People underestimate how devastating carbs are. An average American eats 16 times the amount of carbs than they actually need, and they're actually outputting. So, I broke down how much carbs I'm truly eating. I broke down, desserts is out of the question now. You want this Olympic medal, this world medal, you got to sacrifice a little bit. But yeah, desserts out of the question, carbs, I'm really cutting back. I like my lean meats. I did the pescatarian thing for about 2 months in Bulgaria right before the Open and the World Team Trials, so I'm really trying to hang out with those lean meats, the veggies, of course, the water overload, and then just stay away from all the breads and pastas.
How do you feel differently now when you're out there?
Oh my God, the difference is huge. People say, oh, if you just, the small, subtle difference, you'll feel it. It's so true. It's corny, but it's so true. Like once you change those small things, you go out there, your body feels pure. You feel like, wow, I have something I can work with here. So I'm out there, I have more energy to give, so I feel great. Use much less energy consumption, so it feels good.
You talk about this stuff, and it sounds like you've got a pretty high level of insight on dietary stuff here.
Trying to.
Where did you learn that? Who has helped you along the way here?
So I went overseas, and before the World Team Trials, I was training on my own for about 5 to 7 months, and I was reading a lot of books. I was talking to coaches everywhere, So I owe it to all the coaches I've come across in the past 7 months. Whether they be in the States, they be Coach Sean Lewis, Coach Herb House, the coaches at the OTC, the coaches at the WCAP. Coaches in Bulgaria helped me out tremendously. They actually put me on a diet plan that first got me down from 115 kilos. So I lost 20 kilos in Bulgaria off of a Bulgarian nutrition plan.
Wow. Coach Lindland had some pretty pointed things to say last year in Poland about lifestyle changes, right, and stuff that you're talking about right now. Right. Was that a turning point for you? Did you take that stuff to heart?
Yeah, absolutely. U23 was a big moment for me personally in my life. You know what I mean? I came off of my 2015 bronze, from the juniors. I was ready to fire back and fire back with another medal at juniors. Didn't happen. Went to U23s, and for me that was the spearhead. And I was like, why isn't it? What's not clicking? What's not clicking? And that was the insight. That was the soul searching. That was the what's happening here. And that's where I started really seeing the difference. After Poland, I was like, man, if I want to do this sport, I have to do it the right way, all the way. So.
This week in Vegas, what do you look to get out of a training camp? What are our goals for you this week?
Well, 6 days in the desert, that's the little motto we got out here. But man, for me personally, I got so blessed because I don't know if you guys know Alan Vera. He's the Cuban guy from Florida. He trained with Jordan Spieler in Florida for a little bit. Man, he's here, and this guy, his parterre is unstoppable. The man's amazing. He's Cuban, but parterre is amazing. So it's only getting me better. And like I've said in almost all my interviews, the longer I'm overseas, the better I do. The more interaction I'm getting with the foreigners, the better I progress. So blessed. Here I'm looking to get my parterre so much better. I'm looking to be solid on my feet even more.
Look at this team. Not a lot of carryover from last year. You're one of the two, I think, you and Ellis, and that's it. What's this team been like thus far? And was it surprising that there was that much turnover?
It was. It really was. There's a lot of people you're around. There's a lot of guys that you expect to be the guy. They've been the guy for a long time, and they're not the guy no more. You're just like, that's wrestling. Anything can happen any day, and so I'm very open to it. Like this team, I'm not gonna lie, it's been a long time since I've had a team feeling. A lot of times people take the sport an individual and they start worrying about themselves. And this is for the first time, especially this camp specifically. I feel like we have a good team thing going here, and I think it's awesome. And it's good seeing all three teams here. I think that made me even grow a little bit more camaraderie.
What are critical factors for you and getting where you are now to where you want to be over the course of the next couple months leading up to Budapest?
For me personally, it's definitely going to be just sticking the path, because there's a lot of days I'm not going to want to get up. For me, that's the hardest part. Is just the recovery process. I have to be on my recovery. I know that if I can get my recovery correct, I can perform at utmost abilities. And I just have to, it comes to playing, mixing and matching with your body. How do I react to this? Is my body like this magnesium? Does my body like this? And so I'm messing around with some supplements. It's to see how my body reacts best. And I know that if I can just learn how to recover and teach my body how to peak perfectly, I can compete against anybody on any given day.